The digital world has finally caught up with real estate, as in you can now do real estate entirely from home. I've been doing that for the last decade. The last $10 million I've made, I haven't left my couch. I've been doing it on my laptop. And today I'm going to show you some of the latest and greatest in technology. And specifically, I'm going to show you how to make $100,000 from home.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
I've spent the last decade of my life making real estate as hands-free as possible, but thanks to technology, it's easier today than it's ever been before. In fact, this is an article from Curbed. It says, from virtual showings to online notaries, the home buying process is finally going digital. And it's great news for everyone dealing in real estate, especially investors, because it means that it's never been as easy to make $100,000 on doing a single deal. In fact, in some of the tools that I'm going to be showing and referencing by the end of this, I'm going to walk you through and show you just how simple it is to make a grundle of money. In fact, I'll actually show you how easy it is to make $100,000 on a basic entry-level home. And you know why that's important? Because if you do 10 deals and make 100 grand on all of them, you've made $1 million. Up until this last year, not a lot has changed in the way real estate transactions go down. In fact, from this Curbed article, it says, the traditional real estate transaction is an antiquated process. That's a fancy word for ancient, as in like it hasn't changed a lot. It's not been updated with technology.
Yes, I love technology.
The pandemic of this year, what it's done is it's turned digital technologies from a novelty into a necessity. As in like people are not leaving their houses, but I got to get in the house to actually see the house. Is that true? Well, I got to meet with my realtor. I got to get in the car. I got to go places. Is that true? In fact, take a look at the way the old process used to be. Number one, you had to go into a bank and get pre-qualified. They would ask you to go home, get documents, bring them back, use a fax machine. There's this back and forth. Then you got to find a realtor, like someone that's going to either help sell your house or help you find the right kind of house. They want to meet in person. They want to pick you up. They want to go places. Then, of course, there's all of the houses that you're going to go and view. All of these things I'm talking about take a tremendous amount of time, hours upon hours upon hours. And then the title company. I freaking probably will get premature arthritis because I've signed my signature 1,000,000 times on all those documents, when today, with what I'm about to share, it's this simple. Bought it. You know what recessions really do? They push us to evolve and get better. We have these big problems and someone's got to solve them, which is why some of the biggest companies emerge right inside of a recession. Guess what Zillow's doing right now? This is amazing. They decided to take this concept of 3D tours, home tours, and make it available through Zillow. There are companies emerging left and right now that are making these 3D tours so lifelike, so real, that you actually don't have to get in a car with your realtor and go check out the house. In fact, just think about the time savings alone. You might want to check out 5 homes, 50 homes, and if it takes you an hour or two to drive around, get in the house, check it out, it like literally it almost feels like a part-time job, and that's now just been vaporized. But I have to tell you, in the entire home buying process, something that pisses me off more than anything else is that to technically buy a home, I need to meet up with the notary, I gotta go to the title company, I gotta go sit down at the bank, usually for not a small amount of time, and have to sign paper after paper after paper. And you know what? That's just the way it's always been until now. Let me introduce you to Ron. No, it's not a person, it's not a dude. Ron is remote online notarizations. Like, it's a big deal to buy a house, and you have to sit there with the title person, the realtor, and the notary, and everyone's watching you do your John Hancock. They have finally found a way. This article from Inman talks about some of the companies that are emerging that are now making it possible literally for me to take my device and actually sign on a house without even needing to be in the flesh with someone else. This has never happened before. The biggest change comes actually from Uncle Sam that now basically says remote ink notarization is legit. You actually don't need a witness, a human being there. If you sign using these protocols, you can actually transact real estate, whether you are at home or on a beach or in person. Now, I promised you that I was going to share in this video how you could literally make $100,000 sitting from home. And with how many minutes are remaining in this video, you're probably a little skeptical thinking, geez, Kris, that's a huge promise. Can you really deliver on that? Here we go. First of all, let me just give you a sample deal so you know exactly what we're talking about. And then I'm going to show you the tool that you can use literally from your couch and find these deals where you can make $100,000 per deal. So for example, let's just say that you're looking at a house and this house is valued at $250,000. If you were able to find this house and get it under contract for $200,000, then something interesting is going to happen. Thing number one, you're going to have some instant equity in this house. And if I were to take the value of the house, $250,000, and if I'm buying it for $200,000, there's a difference of $50,000. So if I were to buy this house $50,000 below market or 20%, in this example, I would then have $50,000 of equity. We're already halfway to $100,000. On top of that, let's say that I'm going to own this home short term, 5 years. So during that period of time, I'm also going to rent it out and I'm going to have some cash flow. Now, by the way, the steeper the discount you buy the house with and the more equity you have, the greater the cash flow. Let's assume in this scenario that you're producing $400 a month of cash flow take home. That's what you're averaging after all expenses. That's roughly $5,000 a year, right? $400 times 12. But on top of that, I'm holding it for 5 years. So 5,000, 10,000, 15, 20, 25,000. So over 5 years, let's say that I'm making $25,000. Now, if you're a little skeptical at whether that's possible, look into my lease option program and you'll see that that is actually conservative and way more than doable. And then number three, you do realize that when you own real estate and you hold on to it, it appreciates, it goes up in value. Since 1963, that in the United States has averaged just shy of 5%. So let's round down. What's 5% on $250,000? That's about $12,000 a year. Well, 12,000 times 5 years, that's about $60,000. So if I look at my appreciation and I factor in $60,000, there are other benefits, there are tax benefits, there could be down payments, but let's just add these up. $50,000 of equity, within 5 years, $25,000 from cash flow, $60,000 of appreciation, all of that comes to $135,000. And my friend, that is not all of the benefits. That's just from finding a home with a 20% discount. Would you actually like me to show you right now the easiest way from home to actually find a house with a 20% discount? I get thousands of questions every month on these videos in the comments below. And I have to tell you, the question I seem to get the most is, Kris, help me find a really good deal. And I get it, because if you could make $100,000 on a house, that would be life-changing, because then you're thinking, I could do that 10 more times. I could do that 100 more times. I could do it 1,000 more times. And so I finally, after years of innovation and work, have put together a tool that will literally show you right now for free how to find an amazing deal. I call it Kris Krohn House Finder. And what it does is it aggregates all of the deals in the area. Deals from the MLS and from realtors, deals from banks that are saying, we own this property, it was a foreclosure, deals from title companies. There are literally hundreds of sources where all of these deals come from. And I created a software where I compile all of it together so that within minutes, I can find a smoking hot deal. Smoking! All right, so right over here, you can actually check out my laptop screen. And if you go to the link in the description below, it'll take you to Kris Krohn House Finder. If you put in your first name, your last name, your email, and basically go through the process, I will give you a 7-day free trial to access this. Now, by the way, this is your moneymaker right here. I could be on my couch at home, and all I'm gonna do is one thing. In the top left corner, I'm gonna enter in the city that I'm interested in investing in. It's probably where you live if you're looking for something close to home. For me, I'm gonna type in Salt Lake City. And when I type in Salt Lake, the map automatically adjusts, and boom, this is where it happens. It is showing right now that realtors in this area have uploaded 1,600 homes, that are for sale on the MLS that anyone can see. But now you get access to the private information. There's 247 homes that are in the foreclosure process. It's called pre-foreclosure. These people need to get out of their house or they need a solution. And remember, making a lot of money in real estate means being a solution maker, right? They have our problems, you bring the solution. There's also 14 homes that are going to auction right now as we speak. 252 homes are owned by the banks, and banks hate foreclosed real estate, so they are trying to sell that at a discount. There are 17,997 homes historically in this area that investors bought with cash. You know what's really cool about that? If you find a really hot deal by clicking on any one of these tabs as I'm about to do, and you say, oh, I would totally do this deal, but I don't have the money. I can show you 18,000 people that historically bought homes cash, likely have more cash, and those are the people I'm going to show you how to contact and say, hey, I'm buying a house 3 blocks from this one that you bought 6 months ago cash. Here's an amazing deal. Are you interested in doing a super profitable deal? If they say yes, now you have the money and you have the deal. You're the deal maker. You also have liens. So this is when someone is delinquent on their property taxes, or 1,385 people may have been late on paying other things, and basically it's sitting on their house as a lien. They can never sell that house. They can never refinance it. They can't get money out of it until they satisfy that lien. These are people that have problems, and remember, you got the solution. Finally, you've got a bunch of vacant properties, but this is the number that interests me the most. High equity. There's an average of $106,000 of equity in homes if I push that button. And if I were sitting literally at home on my couch, I could look at the pre-foreclosures and the auctions and the bank-owned properties, but I'm going to click on equity. And the moment I do, look what pops up. Here's the home, here's an address with a 0 loan balance, and it has $437,000 value. That's how much equity it is. That is a paid off house. If that house is for sale and it has been paid down all the way that low, or it's been paid off, guess what that does? That gives you actually quite a bit of negotiation power, because you know that this person doesn't need a market price. They actually need less. I could scroll through all of these because there are pages of them, and look at this. House after house after house after house. Here's a house in Salt Lake, 0 balance, $420,000 worth of equity. Here's a house, though, for example, that has a balance of $151,000. It's worth somewhere over $300,000 because it still has $159,000 of equity in it, which means that it's basically half paid off. If you want to know what the real secret is to finding a really good deal and making it 100 grand, it starts with finding a house with a motivated seller that has a lot of equity and they need someone to provide a solution. My friend, that is you. Listen, I wish I had more time today to click on these. For example, I could click on bank owned and it's going to pull up 252 properties that the bank owns. Banks are stupid. It is so easy to basically lowball a bank and then buy that house from them, and boom, you step into that equity. Do you remember that example I gave you earlier? $50,000 of equity, hold it for 5 years, get awesome cash flow on it, let it appreciate. On that house, that example, that's $135,000. Even after I subtract my closing costs, my realtor fees, I'm going to clear way over $100,000 in that example. And that example is what I have done in real life over and over and over and over and over again. So my friend, the information that I'm sharing with you today is that real estate is now fully digital. You don't even need to leave the house. But more importantly, with a tool like this, you can actually start landing some sick deals that can change your lifestyle, your possibilities, maybe free you from a job that you don't want. But more importantly, live the life that you feel like you were really meant to live. Because frankly, that's what money does for me. It just gives me more options and more opportunities. And if you had all of the options and opportunities you wanted, well, heck, you'd probably call that a have-it-all amazing life. This software is cool. There's lots of other cool things it does, but basically you can find properties nationwide. You can look up the contact of these cash buyers or the homes. You can cut realtors out. There's a way for you to do a CMA right there on the system, not with a realtor. You can find out exactly what a home is worth with that tool. There's a rehab estimator to help you make sure your numbers are accurate. It can help you do targeted marketing lists. There's all sorts of cool things that this thing does. What I did with my company is I said, you know what? I want to give my ninja real estate investors an upper hand. We're giving you an opportunity to basically access all of it for 7 days. For some of you, you're gonna find your first deal that you're gonna do and make money. And if you like it and if it's good for you, this is one of those essential tools you're always gonna wanna have. The preset fields basically help you find the deals with lots of equity. You can find cash investors to take the deals down. And ultimately, you can automate it, so you don't even have to log in. I wake up every day in my email inbox basically saying, Mr. Krohn, we found you another deal that meets your criteria, because it's all set up and it just does it for me. Plus, it has really cool tutorial videos that just show you how to set it all up. So if that's interesting to you, or if you want to have, like, I think one of the coolest real estate tools for making a pile of money sitting on your couch at home, you're going to find it right there in the link below. Oh, hey, no, I'm not playing video games. I'm buying real estate. Okay, you caught me. I'm playing video games, but guess what? I can play video games, because guess who on their couch this morning just bought 5 sick deals? That's right. And if you're not doing the same, dude, get that figured out right now. There's a link in the description below. Get your free tools, go buy your real estate from your couch, and then you can play video games all day long and know your mommy and daddy do not have to bother you about it. Subscribe. I'll see you on tomorrow's video.